Welcome to Vysh IAS. So we'll be continuing with the PLUMS series of polity, governance and schemes today. Okay, so if you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing this channel so that you will be getting daily free updates on UPSC. And if you're looking for a good quality test series, then you can contact the number which is given on the screen 7200681675. Okay, let's move on to the first question of the day. How many statements are correct? Okay, so AG means Attorney General. Okay, so the question is about Attorney General. Attorney General. AG is necessary for giving advice to the government of India in legal and political matters referred to him. Okay, second statement reads AG has the right of audience in all the courts in India as well as the right to participate in the proceedings of the parliament, though not right to vote. Okay, then he also represents government of India in any reference made by the president to the Supreme Court under Article 143 of the Constitution. Okay, so here please analyze this question, which is the how many statements are correct. So if you look at the first statement, it is fairly an easy statement, a processable statement, because it is given legal and political matters. It is not legal and political matters, it is only legal matter, and this is an important key point with respect to Attorney General. Okay, when it comes to Attorney General, he or she is concerned with only the legal matters, only and only the legal matters, no political, no another international matters, nothing like that, only which involves a question of law or legal matters only are taken by Attorney General, and not any political boundaries like disputes, boundary disputes, etc. Okay, so this is a false statement. Second is a correct statement. Even though 2 and 3 they are extreme statements, like all is there, then right to participate in the all in the second statement, right of audience in all the courts of India, even though it's an extreme statement, it is a correct statement. It's a standard fact statement. Third is also an extreme statement, like any reference is given. Okay, so it is actually true, and both these statements are directly taken from the Lakshmikant only. Okay, so 2 and 3 are correct. So here 2 statements are correct, so only 2 is the correct answer. Now come to the next statement. Next question, sorry. How many statements are correct? So the first statement reads only the high courts have the original jurisdiction on deciding an election petition with respect to parliamentary or assembly election. Again, this is an extreme statement, but this is a correct statement. So today's homework for you will be to look after High Court and Supreme Court. Okay, you have to take both High Court and Supreme Court, and on which elections does the Supreme Court has the precedence, and on which elections does the High Court has the precedence. Okay, both of these are having a role in respective domains with respect to election petition. So you have to revise in which of these domains election petitions are working with respect to Supreme Court and High Court. That means Supreme Court is taking up election petitions with respect to which elections, if I have to be particular. Okay, then High Court, with respect to High Court is looking into certain election petitions. So what are those election petitions upon which High Court is taking a part? Okay, so this statement is correct. Then second, representation, this is RPA Act 1951. Okay, RPA Act 1951, Representation of People Act 1951 suggests that High Court should try to conclude the trial within 6 months. Yes, RPA is very, very important. Okay, RPA 1950 and 1951, both of these acts are very, very important, and this statement is correct. Okay, then in 1975, Allahabad High Court verdict had set aside Indira Gandhi's election from Rai Bareli constituency for years or earlier on the grounds of corrupt practice. Again, this is a fact statement, but this is a correct statement. So you have to know such kinds of fact also, because UPSC is demanding this kind of fact these days. So this is fairly an important incident in the political history of the country. So you should be aware of these incidents, these kind of incidents wherein the political importance is so much in the history. Okay, that you should be aware as a common citizen. So here all the statements are correct. So the answer is all 3. Okay, all 3 statements are correct. And for your reference, I have given certain provisions with respect to RPA Act, and you can just go through this. Okay, apart from this, you have to learn this RPA 1950, 1951. Both of these acts are very, very important. Please go through the provisions. And in our earlier videos also, I have given a trick how to demarcate between 1950 and 1951. So please revise that also. how to memorize the provisions with provisions of 1950 and 51, like which of the provisions are part of 1950 and which are not, like that. Okay, so I have given a trick in earlier videos also, so please go through that also. Then coming to the next question, the only legally binding multilateral convention on cyber crime and electronic evidence. This is the question. So here, if you see, this is a fairly easy kind of question, because here it's the question of polity. Okay, like cyber crime and electronic evidence, and Stockholm Convention, Vienna Convention, Geneva, etc. Okay, even though Geneva is not, but these two, they are fairly environmental conventions. Okay, nowhere cybercrime and electronic evidence is coming, because if you have gone through basic environment, okay, the basic concepts of environment, you would have heard these terms in the context of environmental conventions like Stockholm and Vienna. Okay, ozone layer depletion, then persistent organic pollutions. Okay, so these are coming under environment. Whenever we are learning environment, we hear such terms. So these two are not the answer, because nowhere cybercrime is involved in these conventions. Okay, so now come to C and D. So here you have to make a check, because these are like close options. Okay, so here the correct answer is Budapest Convention. So please note this point also. Budapest Convention, it is the only legally binding multilateral convention on cybercrime and electronic evidence. Okay, so the correct answer is C. Now come to the next question. Article 311 says that no government employee, either of an all India service or a state government, shall be dismissed or removed by an authority subordinate to the one that appointed by him or her. Okay, so in the previous videos also we have told that they might take direct text from the constitution itself. Okay, in the upcoming years we can expect such questions, wherein UPSC will be picking a certain statement as it is from the constitution, and they will be framing a question. Okay, so you have to go through the text of constitution at least once after reading the basic concepts from Lakshmikant, so you'll be getting a grip into it. Okay, first you have to understand the concepts from Lakshmikant from your own notes. Okay, so once you're done with 2 or 3 revisions, please go through the text of constitution once, because if you are getting a question all of a sudden in the exam, then that might actually scare you. Okay, so to remove that, you have to take that buffer shock. Okay, just go through the text of constitution. If you are clear with the concept, you will be getting the keywords. Okay, when you're saying such a long sentence, you will get to know which are the keywords and which are the keywords which you have to pay attention to. So connecting that keywords only, you will get the concept. Okay, so here look the second statement. Section 2 of the article says that no civil servant shall be dismissed or removed or reduced in rank except after an inquiry in which she or he has been informed of the charge and given a reasonable opportunity of being heard in respect of those charges. Okay, so these are like gray areas, I would say. Okay, gray areas, people often neglect these areas. Okay, they learn president, prime minister, everything, and UPSC can pick up a question from these kind of topics also. Okay, so you'll get trapped. So please go through these ones also. It's these all the provisions, these provisions are all true only. So DE here refers to departmental inquiry. Okay, departmental inquiry. Okay, so basically this question I have taken just to show you the text of constitution and how to analyze these kind of questions. Here all the statements are correct only, so you'll go with all 3 of the options. And please again look into this question and read it 3 or 4 times, so that you can learn how to approach these kind of questions. Okay, now come to the next question. There is no clear definition of what constitutes a hate speech in the IPC. The committee for reforms in criminal laws is attempting for the first time to define such speech. Yes, there is no clear definition. Yes, in most of the cases, a constitution or any other machinery won't be giving a clear definition, okay, of what something is. So even if a constitution or something else is giving a clear definition, then that fact you have to keep in memory. Okay, because that will be smaller number. The things which are mentioned or things which are defined in constitution, they will be rare, or they will be coming around in 20 or 25 items. Okay, so that alone you have to remember, and the rest, if they are asking, you can go with no. Okay, there is no such clear definition for anything. Okay, so for whichever things the clear definition is existing, that alone you can remember, so that you can tackle these kind of questions. Okay, so yes, hate speech, for hate speech also there is no definition. Okay, so please today go and make a list. Okay, go and take a paper and make a list about the definitions. Okay, in constitution, which are the things which are defined in constitution or mentioned in constitution. You can make a tabular format, and whenever you are learning, you can keep on adding entries to it. Okay, make a table like this. Okay, then defined, mentioned. Okay, like that you can make certain columns, and whenever you are learning, you can keep on making entries to it. Okay, and you can revise that paper and you will be getting grip of this topic. Okay, so here hate speech, it is not defined. Okay, then TK Vishwanathan committee was formed in the wake of section 66A of IT Act, Information Technology Act, that provided punishment for sending offensive messages through communication services, being scrapped by Supreme Court. Yes, okay, this is actually a correct statement. TK Vishwanathan committee, it is associated with this thing only. Okay, IT Act. Okay, so this is also a fact. So here both of the statements are correct. Both 1 and 2 is the correct answer. Okay, that's the end of today's session. So we'll meet in the next week in the next episode. Until then, stay tuned. Thank you.